You've seen the images, right? Massive wildfires on the news. But today, we're not just going to look at them. We're going to read the story they're telling us. And it's an incredible story, all about chemistry, about scale, and ultimately about survival. So let's dive in, starting at the very beginning, with just a single flame.
Okay, so take a look at this. I mean, really look closely. Your first instinct is probably chaos, right? Just pure destruction. But believe it or not, inside this one single picture, all the basic rules of a wildfire are at play. It's a force of nature, yeah, but it follows a surprisingly simple recipe.
So if we ever want to get our heads around the sheer size of these things, we've got to start small. We have to break the fire down into its most essential parts. Let's call it the anatomy of the blaze. Now, what's so cool about this shot is that everything a fire needs to live is right here in front of us. Just look down at the forest floor. See all those leaves and fallen branches? That's the fuel. And that bright, searing orange glow, well, that's the intense heat, the spark that got it all started. And then there's the invisible ingredient, the oxygen, just in the air all around it, feeding every single one of those flames. So these three things together, that's what firefighters call the fire triangle. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. You need fuel, you need heat, and you need oxygen. If you take away just one of those things, poof, the fire's gone. It just can't exist. But when you have all three, and lots of them, that's when you get an inferno. And the type of fuel makes a huge difference. Think about it. Fine, dry grasses, they'll catch and spread a fire super fast along the ground. But the big stuff, like logs and trees, that's where you get this massive release of energy that lets the fire literally climb or ladder up right into the treetops. But here's the thing, a fire like this doesn't just stay put in the middle of nowhere, right? It's not happening in a vacuum. It spreads, it travels, and eventually it's going to cross paths with our world. And that's when the whole story takes a very different turn. Which brings us to the human front line. This is the part of the story where that raw, natural power slams right into the world that we've built for ourselves. Take a look at that structure right in the middle. It's hard to see, but that was someone's home. To us, it's a home, but to the fire, it's just more fuel. The wood and the walls, the furniture, absolutely everything inside, it just becomes another side of that fire triangle we talked about. And just like that, the stakes get so much higher. And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? The line between the wild and the inhabited blurs in an instant. We think there's this clear boundary, between our neighborhoods and the wilderness, but it's so fragile. When a wildfire comes through, that line just vanishes. And our homes, they can become just another piece of the forest that's on fire. All right, so let's pull the camera back, way back. We've gone from a single flame to a single home, and now we're going to look at the scale of an entire ecosystem. This is where you really start to grasp the true, just breathtaking power of one of these events. This comparison is just perfect for showing the escalation. So on the left, you've got that ground fire we started with. It's intense for sure, but it looks kind of contained, right? But then look at the right. That's what happens when that same fire just explodes. It's not even burning on the landscape anymore. It is the landscape. It's become this solid wall of flame that stretches as far as you can possibly see. And to put a number on that, we're talking about a single fire spanning hundreds of thousands of acres. I mean, try to picture that. That's an area bigger than entire cities, all from one single spark that with enough fuel and oxygen can grow to swallow a territory so huge you literally can't comprehend it when you're standing on the ground. Okay, but even in the middle of all this massive, destructive force, there's another story playing out. And it's not just about what's being lost, it's also about what manages to endure. It's a story of survival, reflected right there in the flames. I want you to look really closely at the bottom of this picture. See that? Right in the middle of this terrifying wall of fire, there are two animals just standing in the river. They figured it out. They found the one spot the fire can't easily get to. It's just this incredibly powerful primal moment, right? Pure instinct kicking in against total chaos. And really, that's such an important thing to remember. Nature isn't just a passive victim here. Not at all. Even as one part of this whole ecosystem is burning, another part is adapting, trying to survive. It just goes to show you that even in the absolute heart of destruction, that drive to live, man, it is unbelievably resilient. So all of this leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? When the smoke finally clears and the flames die down,
what's actually left? Is it only a story of devastation, or is it also a story of incredible resilience? And maybe, just maybe, a landscape that's simply waiting for a new beginning?